All right, everybody. Paul Greene-Dennis here. Um, Back for another video. I'm back. Just waiting for some people to catch up to give you my thoughts on the election fallout. Um, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, I I'm gonna give a few thoughts, quick, brief thoughts about what I thought from the election, and we're gonna go from there. Um, so, as expected, the election went well, and it's smooth sailing for me. No problems whatsoever. Had a fairly steady flow for a turnout. About roughly 200 people showed up to vote, and somebody passed something on to me that got me sick really bad. So I'm just on the receiving end of getting over from the election. So there's that. And also, remember, I don't know if you guys remember that there's a proposition that would do away with special elections so that people who are elected to office now cannot resign. They have to serve out the full election, which again was their way of saying we're going to start to do away with term limits. It got approved. So now there's no special elections in Suffolk County. So that means if you do some shitty stuff as an elected official and you get caught and, and we don't like you, we can't vote you out. There's no special election. And they try to give out some, oh, we can't have it, people being up for election for every 2 or 3 years. They need more time. No. That was your way of saying, and it was bipartisan too. It was bipartisan. That's their way of saying we want to have their way of saying qualified immunity by not being able to resign and have special elections to vote someone out because we don't want to waste the taxpayers' dollar. Okay, fine. But if you got to go, you got to go. And we're not talking federally, we're talking local politics. And this was bipartisan that it was approved of before it got before it literally made its way to the ballot. And the people of Suffolk County voted in favor for this because they didn't want their taxpayers. Well, guess what? When somebody needs to be voted out now and they want to be held accountable, when someone needs to be voted out, now they can't because we just did away with having special elections to put these bastards out. That's what you voted in for. We basically, on the local level, have begun. And this was Proposition 2 on the Suffolk County ballot in general. This was one of the two propositions for the Suffolk County ballots on Long Island. And not only did they say we don't want our taxpayers going to that, you have gotten rid of a mechanism, if you will, to get to hold politicians accountable, that we cannot have it. There will be no special elections, and the term limits have increased to 2 to 4 years. So not only are there no special elections to get to vote these people out if they are incompetent, crooked, which they most likely are. So what I'm talking about, love mix, on the day on the elections that we just have. This is I'm talking on the local level, on Suffolk County in general, on Long Island. There was a proposition to do away with special elections, but not only special elections, make the term limits from 2 to 4 years. And that was proposition number 2. That's basically their way of saying we're going to try to do away with term limits. That's what I'm feeling. And that's, to me, they're gearing up for that. They're gearing up to do away with term limits, because not only did you get rid of special elections, because there's a reason why we have to have special elections, in case we need A, to either fill a vacant spot, or B, we need to vote somebody out who is not doing their job or is corrupt. You just got rid of that. You just got rid of that. Now, notice when it came to putting this proposition on the ballot, it was bipartisan by both Democrats and Republicans. Why is that? Why do away with making the term limits greater, and now you did away with special elections? But it's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. Now, if we have to vote somebody out who is corrupt, we cannot do that now, because we just voted. They just got people of Suffolk County to vote against their best interest because of that. That is going to be the main thing to take away from that. I want people to keep that in mind. And the first proposition bill was about some sports complex, some stupid stuff. Something stupid. It was unnecessary. But that second one, if you didn't read it thoroughly, that's what just happened. No special elections, because we might have to vote somebody out. And now you just made the term limits go from 2 to 4 years. Have fun. On another note, so that's Suffolk County. On another note, and they never put out anything about the judges who were up for election, or the candidates for the judges. So I'm like, why would I vote for somebody who I know nothing about what they're about? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so there's that. And then there's the Zohran Mamdani winning, and the fallout and the meltdown that took place. I still say hold your breath about Mamdani. Let's see how this plays out. I think don't place all your hopes and dreams on him. You can hold him accountable. Make sure that happens. It has to happen. But the meltdown that ensued is insane. The amount, first of all, I'll just flat out say it. The campaign against Mamdani was one of the most racist, Islamophobic campaigns I think I have ever seen in my entire life. It's it's not so much the local chatter per se. It's more like if you've seen corporate media, the meltdown was insane from both parties. I mean, we know it's going to come from Republicans, but there are some liberals who literally, and I mean literally, especially after his victory speech, were just going after him. It was like, what? Hold on. If if I could pull it up, Van Jones, my God, my God, how after his speech on CNN, Van Jones had the nerve to tone police Mandani. What I heard, came off as abrasive. I wanted the Mandani that was poised, that was soft spoken at the beginning of his campaign that we saw. Hold up. You're tone policing this guy? Come on, Van. Come on, Van. Come on. You might as well just shut your mouth. You sound like an idiot. And then, of course, you had you were yupping and gupping about on Bill Maher's show about dead Gaza, dead babies Diddy. That was you. And now you saying this about Mandani? Come on. Stop it. I think one of my favorite meltdowns that had no basis of anything, that just showed the racism, was Megyn Kelly's. She basically said she lied about everything in his speech, and that he said, "Oh, great, New York, now you're going to have a guy that's going to care about transgender rights. He's going to spend it all like that." Like, he never once ever said that. Ever. He never, ever, ever once said that. And he's thinking all the Senegalese and the hot dog. I'm like, so you just showed your racism. And if the working class was anything but white, if the working class was white people, you are in for it. Or elites that you serve for, you're all in on it. If it's not white, you have a serious problem with it. Like, she went on and on and on and let her racism hang all out. She literally let her racism hang all on out on full display and try to put out lies with no basis. And it was crazy. It was oh my God. Yeah. It wasn't just Megyn Kelly. It was, if you name it, you could think of it. Michael Rappaport melted down. Rudy Giuliani melted down. Uh, Obviously, Megyn Kelly melted down, crashed out. Who else? I'm pretty sure Sid Rosenberg melted down and crashed out. Bill Ackman is walking back his words. He also melted down. And it was just so refreshing to see it all on full display. Mm, 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 mm. They were saying some off base stuff. Especially, they were just melting down over anything. Oh, yeah, the cool hip hop guy. Oh, he's going to spend your money on the transgender stuff. And the working class isn't buying your BS. The hot dog guys, they're not buying your BS. The hot dog Senegalese guys are not buying it. So you just let your racism hang on full display. New York, when we come to watch shows and eat at expensive restaurants, I'm scared now. Makes your head hurt. Like, you do realize you let your racism hang on full display and you shat on the real working class, the hot dog vendors, the bartenders, the cab drivers, the Uber drivers. And especially when you're talking about, you know, all the 40 plus languages, I'm like, Megan, have you not been in New York City? Have you not been in New York City? What are you? That's always been New York, Megan. But of course, when you have these echo chambers, they don't expect you to be an immigrant. But hey, what do we know? Now, if Zoran starts flipping, unlike the other DSAs and Bernie Sanders and AOC, he's mayor. Put that, put that heat on him. Put that heat on him. He cannot renege on anything. He cannot be changing his tune drastically about anything. But yeah, that's what I came to share my thoughts about. And that second proposition is going to do damage on Suffolk County. I got a bad feeling about it. Doing away with special elections. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. It's their way of qualified immunity and upping the term limits from 2 to 4. They're getting ready to do away with term limits. But other than that, those are my thoughts. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next stream. Peace.